Hello everyone, welcome to Fantasy Recaps Family. Today we are going to see a teen comedy film from 2007 titled Superbad. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Movie opens with Seth, a high school fat boy, is driving his car to pick up his friend Evan. Seth and Evan have been best friends since childhood and always go to school together. Seth always thinks about sex and he wants to have sex before going to college, but Evan believes in love. Seth reaches Evan's house and Evan gets in his car. Seth sees Evan's mom's breasts and says he's jealous of him since Evan got to suck on those tits in his childhood. Evan asks Seth to suck his dad's penis. They went to a nearby supermarket. Seth sees a porn comic and says the nipples are so hard. Evan says he's not able to hide his erection. Seth says he will flip his boner up into his waistband and says it will feel awesome. Evan says he wants to live in a world where he can show his boner to girls. Evan tells Seth to ask his crush, Jules, out. Seth says Jules used to hang out with popular boys and he will never get a chance. They reached school. Evan was staring at Becca's breasts in class. Becca notices this. After class, Becca asks why Evan didn't attend last week's party. Evan says he was doing a lot of fun shit with his friends, but actually, he spent the day watching porn with Seth. After some funny chats, they went to cooking class. Evan is paired with his friend, but Seth's partner is not present. Seth tells his teacher he can't cook without his partner. Teacher says Jules' partner is also absent and asks Seth to cook with her. Seth is excited and nervous because she's his dream girl. Seth joins Jules and begins to cook. Evan is playing with his friend. To tease him, Seth acts like licking Jules' back and hugging her. After cooking class, Evan says he's going to ask Becca out. Seth says Becca is a bitch and says in middle school he used to draw pictures of dicks. One day Becca saw the pictures and reported it to the principal, and Seth's parents punished him. Evan says it's gross and went out. Jules came there and asked Seth to come to her party tonight. Seth agrees and starts to flirt with Jules. Jules asks Seth if he can buy alcohol. Seth agrees. Jules gives him $100 and walked away. Seth asks Evan to help him buy drinks. Evan says no. Seth says he's going to fuck Jules and for that he needs to buy alcohol. Evan says she is just using him to buy alcohol. Seth tells him that he can bring Becca there. Evan agrees and asks Becca out. Becca asks Evan to buy vodka for her. Suddenly, a boy hits Evan and Evan's hand hits Becca's breast. Evan apologized for it. Becca says that it's okay and went to her class. Seth and Evan went to meet their friend Fogel, who promises to bring a fake ID card since only people above 21 are allowed to buy alcohol. Fogel comes in there with a Hawaii fake license with the name McLovin. They dressed up in cool jackets and went to the liquor shop. Seth gives him a list and money and asks Fogel to buy all the drinks. Fogel goes inside and gets scared after seeing the warning board. He grabs all the liquor mentioned in the list and goes for billing. Shopkeeper asks him to verify his identity. Fogel gave him the ID. She verifies it and gives him the bill. While Fogel is about to pay, a random thief comes there, punches Fogel in the face and steals all the money from the shopkeeper. She shouts and calls the police. Two policemen named Slater and Michael arrive there. They're total idiots. Shopkeeper tried to explain what happened, but they inquired like bullshit. Shopkeeper got angry and leaves the place. Slater sees a wound in Fogel's face and inquires about him. Seth and Evan, who are waiting outside, thought Fogel got arrested. Suddenly, a car hits Seth and he falls down. Francis came out of the car and apologizes to Seth. Seth begins to shout. Francis pleads with Seth not to report this to the police and says he can do anything as a compromise. Seth says he wants liquor. Francis says he doesn't have money and told them that he's going to a party and asks Seth to come with him and to take liquor from the party. Seth agrees. Evan says it's not good, but Seth convinces him and they go with Francis. At night, Jules calls Seth and says the party has begun. Seth says that he's in the liquor store and asks Jules and her friends to get ready to get drunk. Meanwhile, Slater verifies Fogel's ID and says McLovin is a badass name. Fogel smiles and tries to escape from them, saying he needs to catch the bus. but Michael says they will drop him and 3 of them go in their police car. Michael and Slater promise to catch the thief. They act like crazy idiots and speak with Fogel, asking him about some stupid things. Suddenly, they get a call from the control room about a fight in a nearby club. They turn the car towards the club. Fogel says he needs to go, but they ask him to sit tight and goes to the club. An old man is fighting with the barkeeper. Michael tries to stop him, but he begins to run. Slater chased him. The man runs towards Fogel. Michael asks Fogel to stop him. The old man hits on Fogel and slips down. They praise Fogel for catching him and say that they'll buy a beer for him. On the other side, Seth, Evan, and Francis reach the party. There are a lot of girls dancing and a lot of drinks in buckets with ice. Seth says if they grab one of these buckets, it will be enough for Jules and her friends. Evan says it's impossible to grab a bucket outside. Mark, who is organizing the party, came and asks Francis what he's doing in his house and says he's not invited. Francis asks him to be cool, but Mark kicks him outside. Evan says this is going to happen for them and tells Seth they need to get outside. Seth says they need liquor. Evan says he will apologize to Becca and went outside. Seth goes inside the party and tries to grab a bucket. A girl comes near him and dances with him. Seth enjoys it. After a long, sexy dance, she thanked Seth and went outside. Some boys asked Seth what is the stain in his pants. Seth touches it and realizes it is blood. Seth was confused. The boys said it's menstruation blood and says that Seth danced with a girl who is on her period. All of the boys and girls teased him for dancing with her. Evan gets a call from Becca. Evan says he will come to the party and go inside to see Seth. Seth goes to clean his pants in the basement. There he sees a lot of alcohol bottles in the fridge. He fills the liquor in 2 empty detergent cans so that he can easily take them outside. On the other side, Fogel is enjoying the party with Slater and Michael, drinking a lot of alcohol. They treat him like a friend and buy all the liquor bottles he has in the list. They are enjoying the night crazily. In Mark's house, Evan is searching for Seth. Some boys ask Evan who he is. Evan gets scared and says he's nobody. One of the boys says he thinks Evan is a brother of a famous singer and asks him to sing. Evan has no other choice and sings badly. It seems the girl with her period is Mark's girlfriend. After knowing Seth danced with her, Mark got angry and looks for him. Seth comes from the basement with detergent cans. Mark asks why he danced with her and throws a bottle at him. Seth escapes from the bottle and it hits the other guy who stands beside him. The guy kicks Mark and all the boys begin to fight with each other. Seth managed to escape from the house with the cans. Evan also followed him. Mark's girlfriend calls the cops. Control room connects the call to Slater and Michael. They were fully drunk. They accept the call and went to Mark's house with Fogel. Seth and Evan are standing on the road. Evan tries to speak with him, but Seth shouts at him. Both of them start fighting with each other. Meanwhile, Michael, Slater, and Fogel are driving on the same road. They are playing with torchlights and hit Seth accidentally. One of the cans falls down and the liquor spreads in the road. Slater tastes it and asks whether they are drunk. They said no. Since they hit him in the car, they will be punished, so they planned to cover the incident by arresting Seth and Evan for drinking. Michael asks Fogel to be the witness of the cover-up story. Seth and Evan begin to run. Slater and Michael chased them. Fogel takes all the liquor bottles and runs in the opposite side. Slater returns to the car and tries to catch them, but Seth, Evan, and Fogel escaped from them and board a bus. The old man who was caught by Fogel is also on the bus. He begins to fight with Fogel and throws the vodka bottle from Fogel's bag. Evan tries to catch the bottle since Becca asked for it, but the bottle breaks and they reached Jules' house. They gave the cans and bottles to Jules and her friends. Jules thanked them. All of them enjoyed the party with drinks and dancing. Evan apologizes to Becca for not bringing vodka. Becca is already drunk. She said it's okay and takes him upstairs, saying she's going to blow him all night. Fogel sees a hot girl from his school and begins to dance with her. She also likes him. They went to a separate room and began to have sex together. Evan and Becca became naked and start to have sex. Evan asks whether Becca is okay with it. Becca says yes, and they enjoyed the night. Seth goes to Jules and kisses her. Jules says she is not interested now. Seth asks whether she didn't like him. Jules says she's not willing to have sex with a drunken man and said she asked the drinks only for the party and says that she won't drink. Seth gets upset and goes away. Jules goes to Seth to apologize. Accidentally, Seth hits his head in Jules' eyes and faints down. Jules says what the fuck and goes away. Evan finished with Becca and he gets drunk and sleeps outside. Suddenly, Slater and Michael show up, shouting that they're going to arrest them for drinking. All of the boys and girls began to run outside. Seth carried Evan to his house. Slater is searching for Fogel. Fogel is still having sex with that girl. Slater and Michael open the door and ask whether Fogel is humiliating her. Fogel says no. Slater shouts at him. Michael says McLovin is their friend. They were acting like they're arresting Fogel and went to an empty place. Their car glass is broken. To cover up that, they hit the car on a lamppost and made it look like an accident. Then they enjoyed the night playing with Fogel with their guns. Seth and Evan are sleeping in Seth's room. Evan apologizes to Seth. They understand and forgive each other. On the next morning, they woke up and went to the mall to buy some new clothes. There they see Jules and Becca. Evan asks Becca whether she enjoyed last night. Becca says yes and says she hardly remembers anything last night because of the alcohol. Evan says he too doesn't remember anything and talks with her. There is a bruise in Jules' eye because of Seth hitting her yesterday. Seth apologizes for it and begins to flirt with her. Jules asks Seth to help her buy something to cover up the bruise. Seth agrees and goes with her. Both of the couples are happily going on a date, and the movie ends here. Many thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll see you in another interesting movie. Until then, take care.